Guilt in particular, I always see as being a thought process rather than emotion. People often say, I feel guilty, but I don't think they actually feel guilty. I think they often feel sad, or they feel anxious, or they feel angry. And as a consequence of that, they have a whole series of thoughts. So if a woman thinks that she can't do something well enough, or thinks that she's not perfect, or thinks that she's doing any damage to their child, they will feel sad or they'll feel anxious. But the thoughts are the guilty things, that I'm not a good enough mother, that I'm damaging my child, that I'm being insufficient in my role, that I'm going to harm them in some sort of way. So as a consequence of that, those negative thought associations lead to a negative feeling like sadness or anxiety or anger. Well, the tragic part about this process, of course, is often they won't say anything at all unless I really try to help them say it, because they're ashamed of it. They feel that they are such failing mothers, they're inadequate. They often won't even tell their husbands about these things. And so as a result of that, they're very, very reluctant to mention to anybody that they are struggling breastfeeding, or that they feel miserable about breastfeeding, or that they don't want to breastfeed, because, of course, that makes them think that they're a bad mother or an inadequate person. They certainly don't. If they think that about themselves, they assume the rest of the world is going to think that. So they're very, very reluctant to speak it out loud, because as soon as it's spoken out loud, of course, that makes it real. If they do tell me that they feel guilty, or they think that they're an inadequate mother, I help them see that there's lots of different ways to nourish a child, and that nourishing a child in a way that is damaging one's self-esteem, that's damaging one's sense of self, that's damaging one's relationship with their partner, that's decreasing their bond with their baby, that's making them hate their motherhood, that's not a positive thing at all. The first thing you do when you're trying to reframe negative thoughts is look at reality testing. Is this a rational thought? So if a woman says that I'm a bad mother because I can't breastfeed my child, you have to reframe that in such a way as say, well, is that real? Does that really make you a bad mother? If your best friend Sally came to see you and she said that she's a terrible mother because she can't breastfeed her child, and you've watched her and she's wincing and she's got cracked nipples and she's got repeated bouts of mastitis and she can't make eye contact with her baby, and you look at her on a couch breastfeeding and you go, oh my God, that look like actually sends shivers down my spine watching you do it, and she says, oh, but I'm a crap mother if I can't breastfeed her. What would you say to Sally? And 9 times out of 10, if not 99 times out of 100, women say, I'd tell Sally to stop and she's being irrational. Feed your baby in the best way possible that provides them with nourishment and provides you with stable emotional well-being, and that a mother's emotional well-being is as critical as the whatever marginal benefit there might be from breastfeeding a child over and above formula feeding a child.